Hey guys, Irene here, and today I'm gonna do a Photoshop tutorial. I'm gonna show you guys exactly how I edited most of the pictures from the Blue series. A lot of you guys really wanted to know how I post-process them and give them this kind of coloring. And also I'm using my DIY backdrop in all of those pictures, and if you guys are wondering how I did that, I have a tutorial on my YouTube channel. I will link it down below or put it somewhere on the screen so you guys can watch it. And let's just get right into the video. So I decided I'm gonna edit this picture, but my only problem is that it's a little bit cut right over here. So I'm still gonna use it. I'm just gonna add a tiny bit of this picture to kind of finish it off so it doesn't cut her back right here. And I'm going to show you guys exactly how I do it. I'm just going to go ahead and open it in Photoshop. I already had it open just because I want to see if that's the picture that I want to use. And it goes straight to camera raw, and because I shot this picture in RAW, and I definitely recommend you guys do the same because it's going to give you a lot more power to edit the pictures the way you want it. So the light is pretty nice. Oh, and by the way, this was shot with my Petzval lens. A lot of people always ask me if I still use it. I definitely do. I really love it. I really love how soft and also sharp at the same time it looks. So to make it blue, I'm just going to play with the white balance a little bit, and I'm going to bring it more to the cooler side right here. And then we're going to contrast it just a little bit more, bring the shadows up just like that. Maybe play with highlights, see if that does anything. Yeah, just a little bit like that. I think that looks beautiful. Maybe a little bit more on the green side too over here. Okay, there is no really like red peeking through or anything weird like that, so I think I'm gonna leave it at that. Oh, actually no. I'm gonna go to detail and sharpen it up just a bit. Just like that. I think that's great. And also, with all of this done, I'm gonna go ahead and save the setting. And I'm gonna save it to whatever, we're gonna name it blue, because the second picture that I opened to kind of cut it into this picture has to be in the same kind of coloring. So I'm just gonna go ahead and open the image. And right away you can kind of see the difference. This was the raw image right of the camera, and this is what we did in camera raw. I'm just gonna delete this one right now because I don't need it anymore. And I'm gonna also take these out, and actually what we're gonna be doing is making it into something like that. Okay, I just had those pictures pulled up because I wanted to show you guys what the final product is gonna kind of look like. Now I'm gonna pull up this picture onto the Photoshop, and again it brings it into camera raw, and I'm gonna go ahead and apply the blue preset that I just made just so it color matches the other picture. I'm gonna open it as well. Okay, so now I'm gonna go to the previous picture. I'm gonna choose the crop tool, and I'm gonna move it a little bit to the side like that and crop it. Now we're gonna go to this picture because we're gonna be cropping this little piece and kind of stitch it on top of this image right there. So I'm gonna just use the lasso tool, and I'm gonna kind of roughly cut the side like that. Then I'm gonna right click on it and say layer via copy, and as you can see it just copied the layer right here. Then I'm gonna right click on that layer, and we're gonna duplicate the layer, and then we're gonna choose the picture that we're going to be copying it on. I'm going to press OK, and as you can see the layer kind of transferred to this image, and it's in a new layer right here. So I'm just going to take the tool and kind of move it around to where it should be. If this is kind of hard for you, you can also change the layer into multiply, and then you can kind of see the layer behind it and see if you're kind of matching them. Okay, so it's just tiny bit different, so I'm gonna go ahead, choose this rectangular tool, then right click and we're gonna go free transform and we're gonna go to distort, and we're just gonna be moving it around to fit it exactly in the space. We don't have to be very precise because we can kind of fix it in with the Liquify tool, but I think like that is just fine. And we're gonna apply it, and then I'm gonna take the eraser and we're gonna erase all of the spots that we do not need, like right here. And you can see the line over here. This is the little part pretty much that we need, just that little part over there. So everything else we can really just erase. But just make sure that at some point they do kind of line up together like that. And you can just kind of look and see what it's going to look like and where you should free transform. I'm just going to kind of get it. Okay, I think this is almost good, and this is okay. I'll show you how to fix that. That little thing right here does not want to get fixed. Okay, I think this is good enough. And then as you can see, it's a little bit lighter right here. So all you're gonna do is go to image, adjustments, curves, and we're just gonna pull this down right here, and then it just matches the rest. And we're gonna press OK, and at this point you can just go ahead and merge them together. And now we have this little line right here, and it's gonna be very easy to fix. I'm just gonna get that rectangular tool again, but before we're gonna duplicate the layer, and you can just right click and press duplicate the layer, then use your rectangular tool just at the spot where you need to fix it. Then we're gonna right click, free transform, distort. I use this technique a lot on pretty much everything, and then you just take this little rectangular right here and you just pull it to the side, and as you can see it pulls the little selected area. And then you can just apply the transformation, select, deselect, and then as you can see it kind of made this little thing right here, but this is why we duplicated the layer. So now we can go ahead, pick the eraser tool, and we can just go ahead and erase this, and ta-da, it's done. And then you can see if we back up, this is before and after, and we kind of fixed that, and we can go ahead and merge the layers again. I merge the layers all the time. This is just my personal preference and how I like to work in the Photoshop. You don't have to do it. You can leave all of them out, but this is again just the way I like to do it. And also I don't like using hotkeys. It's again just my preference. I don't even touch the keyboard a lot during my tutorials. So I'm going to duplicate the layer again, and I'm going to go into Liquify. So you just press filter, Liquify, and we get to this window right here. We're going to get the brush pretty big, but not too big, because I'm gonna liquify the back just a little bit, because I don't know if you guys noticed, but it didn't really match up like very good with the picture. So I'm just gonna liquify it just a touch, just to make it a little bit smaller here. And again, it's okay if you're pulling just a little bit here on the side. It's very easy to correct it with your Liquify tool again. So now I'm gonna make it a little bit smaller, and I'm just gonna pull this backdrop, the blue, back so we don't have any gaps in the picture. And also while we are here, I'm gonna get the hair a little bit bigger. So again, the brush size, make it a little bit bigger, and then I'm just gonna pull it up to create more volume. I do this all the time. If you watch a lot of my tutorials, you know this. I love to make hair a little bit bigger. It just adds to the picture. Again, this is something you don't have to do. This is just something that I do. If you're worried that you're gonna mess the face, you can also get this free mask. sorry, freeze mask. Get your brush a little bit smaller and freeze the face so that you don't liquefy it by mistake. Then I'm gonna get my brush again and I'm gonna make this hair right here that frames her face a little bit bigger. I just love the way it looks, and I'm gonna show you guys the before and after. You'll see how amazing it makes the whole picture look. It just changes it so much. Okay, and I'm gonna pull right here just a tiny bit just to show a little bit more of that. Okay, I'm gonna press OK. It's liquefying, and this is before and after. Okay, I might have went a little bit too much in the hair, and it's fine. If you do, you can go ahead again to your Liquify and just make it smaller. Sometimes it just it looks fine, but then when you go to the whole picture, it's not as great. So it's fine. You make mistakes, then you go and fix them. So all fixed up. I think that's a lot better right now. So this is before. You know what? I think it looked really good without liquefying the hair, just at the top here. I think it looked just fine like that, so I'm gonna leave that. But I do like how I added a little bit more volume on this side. Alright, so this is before and after. Again, I'm just gonna go ahead and liquefy all of those together. Now I just switched to my tablet and I'm just using a Wacom, I hope I'm saying it right. It's the Intuos Pen tablet. This one is a small one, and I really love it. Definitely recommend you guys get one if you are into photo retouching. And to be honest, her skin is pretty flawless, and the way that the lens photographs, it kind of blurs everything really nicely. But I just have this one little kind of red spot on her forehead, so I'm just gonna choose the patch tool, and if you don't have it selected, you just right click on it and select the patch tool. Normally it has a healing brush tool on, so I prefer the patch tool, and all you do is you just circle up the imperfection and drag it to the place where there's no imperfections, and you can just do it to all of the little places. It just goes really quick. There's a little line right here. And I do love her little freckles, so I'm not gonna touch those. Let's see if there's anything that needs to be done here. Like, to be honest, this is like really little tiny things that you don't even have to do. And I just actually noticed that I kind of messed up when I was transferring that little part, so we're gonna fix it. It's not too bad. I'm just gonna get the clone tool and I'm gonna duplicate the layer before we do all of this, and I'm gonna clone this area right here and then kind of put it on top right there. You're just cloning and then stitching it on top. Let's get it a little bit bigger. It's going to be a little bit more precise. Then I'm going to get this sampler tool. I'm going to sample up some skin over here, and I'm using my tablet still, and the tablet works the way that the harder I press on it, the more intensity it's going to have in the Photoshop. But if you don't have the tablet, you would just have to lower your opacity to about like 20 or so. You just have to look for yourself, but I'm just gonna lightly kind of color that in to make it more seamless. And I'm just selecting different color and kind of coloring it in. Then you can just lower the opacity on the layer just a little bit so it doesn't look as fake. I think that's good enough. I'm not too crazy into details. As I said, the lens shoots it pretty soft, so little detail like that no one's gonna notice, so it's not that big of a deal to me personally. If it is to you, then just be more careful than I am, I guess. Then I also noticed this little thing. It's just bothering me, and it's It's the fake lash. I'm gonna have to go pretty close in here and just fix it. And again, I'm just using the sampler tool and the brush, and I'm sampling and then kind of painting it on so it doesn't have that black. And again, this is just like a tiny detail that probably just I noticed, but I do really wanna make sure that it's all nice and kind of perfect. I guess I didn't care about the little dress part that was messed up, but I really always do care about how the face looks like. Okay, so this is like before and after. So we got rid of that little. I'm gonna zoom it out so you guys can see it. See, got rid of that little thingy right there, and now it looks a lot better, just in my opinion. I'm gonna go ahead and merge those together, and now we're gonna go ahead and start color grading, and I'm gonna be using gradient maps